And I want to go over the proposed property tax levy amounts and give you some legislative updates, just so you know what's happening in Des Moines and what some of the impacts could be to us next year, or FY28, I guess. So I did update the amount in the tax levy file from Saturday. I increased the amount for the liability insurance levy. We can always bring it down later. I wanted to bring it up a little bit because I don't totally understand the number behind it. I want to make sure I have enough budgeted in there. So I'm working with A-Stroke, our insurance rep, to understand the ICAP number and the IMWCA workers' comp number to figure out how much we should have budgeted for next year. So the levy amount the rate is still less than last year's rate, and I'll show you that on one of the slides. But I just increased it a little bit. And then when I figure out what it should be, hopefully it won't need to be higher because we can't go up after we do our hearing, but hopefully it can come down a little bit. So the overall rate for Glenwood that I have in there is still less than, last year, 15.03725. The combined general fund levy is 7.81141. And that's due to the ratcheting formula that the state has. You can see the other special levies besides the general fund levy are the red line is the employee benefits levy. And we kept that rate exactly the same, staying flat. And then the liability insurance, just slightly less, 1.44413 instead of 1.4604. And then the debt levy less than last year, and that's because of the increasing valuations that it can go down. And the debt levy is the yellow line, and the liability insurance levy is the blue line. So you can see there what they've been since FY20. And then just a comparison of our overall tax rate to some of the other cities about our size or that provide services at the same level we do in Southwest Iowa. So you can see we have got the second lowest overall property tax rate of cities of a comparable size in Southwest Iowa. Shenandoah, less than us. And these are our FY27 proposed numbers compared to their FY26 adopted rates. So we don't know yet what their FY27 numbers are because they're doing the same thing we're doing.
Yeah.
And so you can see there, we've got one of the lowest in Southwest Iowa. The cities of our size are a little bigger. Then for the debt levy, we're also one of the lowest. You can see there's some big differences between, there's kind of some different tiers there of how large some of the other cities' debt levies are. Us being towards the lower end, and then Atlantic and Denison much higher. And then employee benefits levy, we're sort of in the middle there, 3.89912. And then you can see there's Red Oak as the highest. So that's comparison of just where our levies fall compared to other cities in Southwest Iowa.
It's nice to see a comparison. Thank you.
Any questions on the levies? I also gave you two of the printouts from the Department of Management Systems up there. Those are with our levies and the amounts. And then one of them's a draft of the mailing that the auditor sends out. So. No questions on that. We can move on to some of the legislation. So there's a few bills out there right now that could have potential future budget impacts to us. The biggest one being property tax reform. And right now, there's 3 separate bills out there, one from the Senate, one from the governor, and one from the House. And they're all a little bit different and all a little bit the same. And all of them are a lot different than our current, they all are making cuts to the overall property tax that is levied on properties, and they'll all have a big impact on us. We just don't know how much yet. It's kind of hard with 3 different proposals sitting out there, but the league has hired consultants to model the bills, and so they're supposed to be getting that out to cities sometime. When I do get it, I'll definitely forward you the information so you can see what the impacts of the different proposals will actually be on our general fund. But the Senate bill, so kind of one of the more concerning aspects is the House bill and the governor bill limit growth of the property tax to only 2% over the previous year. And if you remember last year, our general fund revenue only was allowed to grow slightly above 2%, and or was it close? It was right around 2%, and we only got $37,000 increase in general fund property tax. So you can see if we're limited to 2% every year, we don't have a lot to work with as far as pay raises go and technology increases and just the cost for other goods and services with 2% increase. But that's what's in the governor's bill and the House bill. The Senate bill has got some kind of formula to factor in the CPI, but I didn't really understand it that much yet. I know that the league is trying to advocate with different members of the House and Senate to not have the growth be capped at 2%, but be tied to some sort of inflationary index or something like that to allow for more growth if there's more inflation, that type of thing. So we will see what that will come out to, but that will be one of the biggest aspects of this bill is if there's the 2% cap on property tax revenue. Another concerning or interesting aspect is it caps unassigned general fund reserves at 10% in the governor bill. So we couldn't have unassigned general fund balances of more than 10%. Right now we have a 34% fund balance to expenditures.
What does it take to just assign it?
Well, then we just need a plan. So that's a great question. So we would just come up with some sort of pass a resolution where you assign it to different purposes, and then we could declare it assigned.
And then to move it around, we would have to just,
Do another resolution or something like that, yeah.
so it's annoying, but still
But you can
provides
still
an ability
assign it,
to.
A
yes.
workaround.
So I asked the auditor about that, what it takes to, how they define unassigned versus assigned, and basically it was some sort of resolution with declaring a purpose for the fund balance, so. But we don't know if I'm not sure if the final bill will include anything like that,
Right.
because the league's already talked to a lot of legislators about it and explained how having healthy fund balances helps cities with better bond ratings and emergency funds and things like that, so I think some people are already agreeing that it probably wouldn't be good to cap it at 10%.
In terms of dollars, what's 10% represent for Glenwood?
Well, probably like 600,000.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah, it's not that much.
It isn't, but you can go through that really fast.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
one big expense,
Yeah, yeah.
replacing a roof or two.
Mhm.
Then the next area where they're working on making changes to is the rollbacks. So you got your assessed valuation and then a rollback is applied to it, and that's how you get your taxable valuation. And the rollback system for residential values is really confusing. It changes, the rollback percentage changes every year, so cities don't even know what to plan for because it's based off of a statewide calculation on how all the assessed valuations have changed throughout the entire state. So it's probably good that that will change, but all of these have got sort of different proposals, and all of them would bring the taxable value lower than where it's at right now, which would mean lower property tax revenues for than what we are used to receiving. So like the Senate bill has increases the homestead exemption for the next over the next 10 years, up to $175,000 on a residential home. And then the governor's bill completely eliminates the commercial and industrial backfill payments that I showed you in the workshop the other day, and also adds in homestead credits and disabled veteran credits and more credits for senior citizens. And then the House bill creates a new residential rollback exemption, and basically they're all different ways to lower the taxable valuation on residential properties, and some do it more than others, and some are harder to calculate than others too. It's hard to know how many veterans you have in your community or seniors and that type of thing. So some of them are almost impossible to estimate the impact until it happens. You can see the Senate bill, there's special call outs for increasing property tax relief for seniors. And in the Senate bill, it would completely eliminate property taxes for residents 60 years old and older who have completely paid off their mortgages, so that they wouldn't be paying any property taxes except for voter approved property taxes. So that'd be like for a GO bond approved by voters, which we don't have any. The school sometimes has them. So that would probably be a lot of, I don't know how many people have paid off mortgages and are 60 years old and over, but I imagine quite a few. And so
Yeah.
all of them are still receiving services from the police department.
Yes, we are.
Some of our largest users for EMS services. I think some of them like to walk around the park, but they wouldn't have to pay anything to contribute to, how local governments are funded. Because in Iowa, the vast majority of local government funding comes from property taxes. So that's a large percentage of the population that's no longer contributing to those services.
And I wonder if anybody's done the math of actually how many in each county there are
I think that
and that are paid off. That would, they have no
you
idea.
have no idea how many.
They have no
I tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked someone over at the bank, like if there's any like measure out there where someone could go and figure out how many paid off mortgages there are, and said they had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know how they'd even calculate that. Yeah.
So Mitch, this might be a rhetorical question, but just thinking about all these cuts coming from all these different directions, right? So state just cutting funding generally, then cutting cities' abilities to raise money, and then taking out an entire base, and especially for older cities, cities with maybe an older population, taking out that entire base, and then it seems like people under 60 then are carrying the burden, but then you can't really raise anybody's taxes that much, so.
Yep.
Exactly.
But has there been any conversation with leagues and other administrators of like, at some point,
They're all
seriously,
talking,
like
yeah.
what do you do? Like you
Yeah, I think people have tried to ask that, and I think that there's lots of legislators that haven't met with city council members or mayors to try to understand city budgets, and I think they just assume that there's a lot of waste in cities,
yeah.
when really if you look at our budget, there's not that much waste happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
We don't
someone
have a lot of
refer, we get the spending problem, but I don't see that Glenwood
Not
has a spending
We don't have a
No,
lot
we've
of
always been very
extra
conservative.
programs. Most of our budget, our general fund budget is going to public safety, police and fire department. When we do try to do things at our parks, there are a lot of donations from citizens, and we actually get, I think a lot of our citizens would like us to invest more in our parks
I would like this too.
and recreation, but we were kind of maxed out. So,
It also feels like some of these things are happening in a vacuum. I wonder if anybody's looked at like, if all of this passed,
Yeah.
all of it together, what would happen, right? Because one of these things on their own might not be so bad.
Yeah.
But if all of these things pass together, it feels like it's,
Mhm.
I'm sure they have,
Yeah,
but
the league is
feels
trying
like-
to model it out, but they haven't sent anything out
Yeah,
to
they
cities
need
yet. They're going to send things out to cities once they do have the financial model, but even when they do that, it'll just put a big general estimate, because county makeup is different for some of these things, like seniors and paid off mortgages, and those things are impossible to estimate before anything happens, so.
which
Yeah.
makes it even scarier why they're putting it out there. If they,
Because
how
we
did they
won't
estimate?
even know really until
Yeah,
we're basically preparing that FY '28 budget. We might not even know then, how much the impact will be, because lots of the changes will still be being made.
yeah.
Gotta reach out to our representatives, let them know. I'm sending my little email.
Yeah. There's
Feel
also,
free to though.
yeah, all of these impacts too would have impact on TIF, which other cities use more than we do. We have a few TIF districts where we are paying back developers. We did create an urban renewal district for the GRC area with the intention of someday maybe using TIF to help with the development up there. Obviously, large changes to the property tax structure will mean we can do less with TIF up there. Moving on to the second page of these property tax laws. So the governor's bill, they proposed changing assessments to, instead of every 2 years, every 3 years, which would slow down, I guess, assessment growth, because you're not reassessing properties as frequently. You're reassessing in 3 years instead of every 2 years. Then there's, some of them have provisions for shared services and consolidation. So they want cities and counties to be consolidating. One of them, this was a good proposal to help. One of them, they acknowledge they're including all of these property tax cuts, but cities start to provide services. So they did include in theirs a provision to allow cities to increase their local option sales tax from 1% to 1.5% to
That's Mitch's idea.
diversify some revenue.
Mr. Seek.
Which is better than nothing, because at least you can get more revenue to be able to provide some level of the services that you provide now. I had sent some emails to our legislators suggesting that if they're going to cut property taxes, they should consider providing more revenue streams for cities, and explain how in Arizona, my property taxes were a quarter of what they are here. But local government spending wasn't any lower than it is. There's just those cities in Arizona have more revenue sources they get revenue from. So the state actually shares sales tax with cities from across the entire state. They have a formula and they give all cities a piece of it. And then income tax from across the state, they have a formula and they give all cities a piece of it. And then cities have their own sales tax on top of that inside their jurisdictions. And so that's why their property taxes in Arizona are a quarter of what they are here. It's not that they're spending less on local government in states that have lower property taxes. It's that their revenue is more diversified. So I don't. That's some of the concerning parts about these bills is they don't recognize that
They're turning it all off
Yeah.
without giving us access to
that we're,
resources.
they seem to think it's all a spending problem on the city side when, if they actually visited some of the small cities, I think they would find out it's not. There was a provision to increase the gas tax. So we don't fund any of Jamie's department with the general fund, but they'll be getting more money for roads, which is a good thing. Let's see what else. There's more exemptions for veterans, which is hard to determine. And so there's just a lot of really complicated provisions in this, and we don't know what the final product will be, but it seems like there's probably going to be something since all three sides have submitted something. So I'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Does CPI mean consumer price index like it does everywhere else? Okay, I was just checking. So I'm like, what is that?
And then some other bills that I just wanted to make you aware of. There's a House and Senate bill to limit the amount you can invest in iPay to 25% of your funds, which I think is sort of a ridiculous bill. We have got 50% of our funds in iPay, and I find it to be a good tool and a good use of being a good steward of taxpayer dollars to get the highest interest rate that we can for our citizens on their tax dollars. And also they provide more flexibility than any of the banks do. But it's a bill submitted by, I think, the banks because they don't like to have to compete with someone who provides better service than they do. And then there's the bill that I mentioned about the perpetual care fund regulations, where they're going to eliminate some of those, which would be good because the reporting is very confusing and the restrictions are confusing. And as it is right now, we can't use any of the funds we've collected for perpetual care. So these would be a good one to help us out. Then there's a concerning bill, Senate Bill 3113, that would basically attempt to force cities under 5,000 to consolidate their police departments with the county sheriff's departments, if based off of some vague description of a cost-benefit analysis, it could be proven that the county could provide law enforcement for less than you currently are, then you have to put it to voters to vote on if they want to consolidate. Which is all very concerning for us because we fund I believe that we provide our police department for less dollars than what the county could, but you don't know what the cost benefit analysis form will look like. And we fund our police department, a quarter of it, with our employee benefits levy to pay for the taxes, the pension, the health insurance. And if we have to pay the county, then I don't think we can use that levy anymore, because I think you can only use that levy for employees that you employ. And so that's where a quarter of our funding for our police department comes from. So I don't know how going to be able to pay the county for the full cost of our police department. And it would end up being negative to the rest of the city because we have to cut in other places to be able to pay. Because we no longer can use the levy to help pay for the police department, so. It's just a bad idea, and, it takes away trying to force people to consolidate and fit one size across the entire state when cities we could do that right now if we wanted to. If we decided that it would be better for the city of Glenwood, then you guys could make that decision, and we can do that. This tries to force it on city councils to do that.
That's kind of what Harlem did, right? Like they got rid of their city police and they just have county.
They had to because they lost their chief of police
But yeah, they did.
and
But
employees left, so they did,
Yeah.
but they regretted
So
that
they made the
decision.
choice to, but.
They made the choice.
It was voluntary.
But then
It's
what
cost them a
happens
lot of
is
money.
the county can just tell you, this is what the increase is going to be, and you have to pay, you kind of have to pay it. You get stuck between a rock and a hard place because they know you're not going to turn around and start your own police department again because.
Oh, but we could reestablish it if.
I think it seemed like that would be
Yeah,
so
make it
easy,
sound like
right?
that'd be
Eric?
easy.
Hey, we're not here, but in 2 years, like, hey, tomorrow, everybody reassemble, like, we're the Avengers, right? Like, just,
And
it
again,
doesn't make sense.
No,
I wonder, 6,000 or less.
Because it covers most of the
Yeah.
the smaller
Then make
communities
it
in
5,000
Iowa.
because we're 5,300.
That's what I mean, but we would.
at the 2020 census, we were 5,073, so.
Were we 5,073?
Yeah,
I thought we were 5,300.
we were before that.
Oh,
at
now we dropped.
2020. Next time we'll be up higher.
If we're on the cusp, maybe that would be more reason to do one of the census.
Yeah.
Right? We've been
Could be.
kicking out
Yeah,
there,
I'm
but
still wondering how much that would cost to do one of those.
Yeah, every
Cost
time.
effective.
And then one last interesting bill was,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny, was this hotel motel tax. They don't like how people are spending it, I guess. They think their definition is too broad. Right now, you can use it to spend 50% for anything and 50% for, there's a long list of items, including recreation and stuff like that. That's what we use it for. But they want to be able to force you to use 50% of it for tourism, promotion, and tourism development, and they define what that is. And so,
this is for every city? Like, not every,
every
every-
city that has a hotel
That has a
motel.
hotel.
Oh,
Yeah, if you don't
For
have
us, it's
not
just
every
at
place is a tourist
$25,000.
place, right? Like,
Yeah,
Some cities would be a bigger impact than us. We only get 25.
yeah, we don't have to.
So,
But I guess we get to define what would bring in tourism, right?
Yeah, which would probably,
It might
just
look
define
different
as
for-
our lake park.
Exactly.
does
Or-
Glenwood have a city sales tax?
No,
I don't think so.
we have a local option sales tax.
Yeah.
But we have this hotel motel tax too. That's it for my updates.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Is this proposed tax notice due to the county March 5th?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is that when yours is due?
yeah, I think they all are.
Okay, we have 2 minutes. We start.
Good job.
order. Thank you, Teresa. Please stand and state the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll ask the clerk to please take roll call.
Kate,
Here.
Reiner,
Here.
Lyons,
Here.
Tran. Here. McEwen.
Here.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
So moved, McEwen?
Second,
Duran.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons,
Yes.
Duran,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
At this time, we allow visitors to address council. I see no visitors, so we'll move on to number 5. You guys are on the agenda, so you don't have to go right now. Okay, committee reports. So we'll do finance. Tim?
Okay. So 3 meetings, 3 of these.
I know. Wait till budget's done.
Sorry, it's the only thing I talk about.
Just not me.
Recap.
Yeah, Mitch gave a nice recap of proposed property tax for fiscal year '27. It's a little bit less than what was in fiscal year '26. It's due to the county March 5th, so it can be mailed out to all the residents of Mills County. And then we'll refine that before we adopt the budget. And also discussed legislative updates, several concerning bills, things like that. So
Very good. Thank you. Departmental reports. Bob, you get to go first this time.
Alrighty, January stats. We had 1,836 materials checked out, 208 participants in Early Out Wednesday, 26 attendees at story time. We had 4 people in person for History Book Club, with another 10 or so picking up the book and just not coming in person. There were only 3 people to January's shelf indulgence, which was the night of the freezing rain. So like,
I remember
that's
that.
3 more people than I would have expected. January Silent Book Club at the library was 6 people, but we had 18 last night at Vine Street Bakery, and have
Nice.
already had a lot of people asking about next month, which will be at Keg Creek, and we have Bellataire signed up for April. So we're excited to have that one going. We've got a dozen homebound delivery service patrons, and we saved $23,457 by patrons in January. For shelf indulgence at Perea, we have added local authors to come and give a talk. So here in February, it was Deborah Himes. We've got Malvern's Mandy Oyster coming in March, and April will be Paul Maloney?
Paul Maloney, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So he'll be in April.
He's April.
Yep, he's April.
I'll make sure.
And
That's a
those,
great idea.
those are the first
That's
Thursdays of the month at Perea, except for April, that's Monday, Thursday, so that will be the following week.
okay. Great.
We are closed for President's Day. Updates on some grants. The Carnegie grant money is in the bank. So we will be making some lists to spend that money. We have had staff apply for the Dollar General grant, which is $3,000 towards summer reading. Cross your fingers, that gets announced in early May. We had staff apply for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the Science Kits for Public Libraries grant. That's $1,000. That also announces like the 3rd week in May. And as a size library that we are invited by the Carnegie Corporation to apply for another grant that is $25,000 specific for adult literacy programming. And that application window opens on March 11th. So they will
Oh,
be
excellent.
sending more information here in a little bit about what that grant looks like.
Very good.
Awesome.
Those are the things that.
Doing good things.
And do you do your own grant writing?
You deposited the check in the bank, they do it with you.
Yes.
How much was it, Carnegie?
The Carnegie was 10. That's what
10,000?
everybody gets. And then the grant is 25.
And have you gone to the county for funding?
We went in January. They have not told us what our
They're
rate
still working
will
on it.
be. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious if they decided.
No one's told us anything.
Okay,
It might have something to do with that meeting they've got next week. I'm just presuming. But yeah.
very good. Thank you. Okay, Mike is not here, so Ron, Art, come on up here.
Before I forget to tell you, I did talk to Michelle tonight that's doing Hiley Park, all the stuff with Hiley Park. She was planned on being here tonight, but then she called and got off. She's just trying to get all of her ducks in a row. She did get quite a few bids that she
Good.
will be bringing you guys. She said it's been a struggle, but she will be here next time.
Okay,
Second, I was going to have some lights replaced at the ball fields. When they went to replace them, the ball club had mentioned that some of the lights were dim.
right.
And so I thought the bulbs were just going bad. It turns out that let me see here, no, it's not. The capacitors were bad, or were going bad in the light itself. Those lights are so old that they do not make those capacitors anymore, so they have to replace the whole ballast. There's 14 of them. I've got 2 bids.
Is it City Field?
This is all the fields.
All the fields.
I've got one from Bluffs Electric to replace the 14 ballasts, and it's $9,100. And then I've got one from ProTech for $71.46 and 90 cents. I was wondering why there was such a price difference. I did do some research. It's basically just the quality of the ballasts. Bluffs is going with a real high quality, ProTech is not. So they're pretty much the same exact on cost for labor and the use of the truck and that kind of stuff, but it's just the ballasts that are different price. I tried to get a third one, but he didn't show up. So,
Would the better quality tend to maybe last longer? Is that?
yes.
You know?
And basically the guys from Bluffs Electric said, you guys would be mad if in 2 years they go bad again.
Mhm.
So we use the highest quality we can. The other guy is trying to be the best price. So.
And what's the average lifespan for those? I mean, these have lasted us a million years,
I
right?
don't know. I mean, the ballasts, I know we've had to replace the ballasts at the shower house down at the campground, and that's 8, 9 years old. Well, no, it's longer than that. It's 16 years old because they were there when I was here.
So this would be, and then the bulbs on top of that. That was like
Correct.
1,500-ish?
I believe so. Yes.
So you're asking for bulbs then? Do you want to go?
It's up to you guys which one you want to go with. My recommendation would be go with the better. That way they don't have to keep coming back and we don't have to keep, paying for, the truck and the labor and all that kind of stuff.
Is it in the budget for now, or are you looking at?
Mitch, did we?
Across all the parks and the recreation, there's enough.
There's
There is
enough.
Okay, council, then it's up to them.
I'd say we go with the Bluffs Electric bid with the better quality.
Is there a guarantee or any kind of
No.
warranty? So it's no
Not on
guarantee that the better quality
It's
will
just
be.
better quality, yeah.
Do we have to go with the lowest bid or?
No,
No.
he's making a
No.
motion to go with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say I'll make the motion to go with the Bluffs Electric on their higher quality ballast, and what was it,
$9,100.
9,100 plus the cost of the bulbs.
Correct,
I second that.
9,100 even.
That includes the bulbs then?
No,
Oh, okay, I thought you were correcting that, okay.
I'll second it.
Second, okay. So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Just one more question. So 14 needed to be replaced. You guys evaluated all of
All
them
of
just to make sure that we're
yep,
getting our.
every single one of them we went through.
He thought 14 bulbs needed to be replaced, but what they found was.
With the new ballasts, there might not
There
be
might not be
as many bulbs that need to be replaced as we
Okay.
thought.
How many total lights are there across all the fields?
And that's hard to say because there's individual lights on each one of them, and I think each one of them has 4 lights on each ballast. You're probably talking 30,
Okay, so we're gonna replace half of them.
almost half of them, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Reiner,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Duran,
Yes,
Kate's,
Yes.
Lines.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot, they are gonna adjust the lights too. So there's a few of them that are
Oh, they
not
want to
right.
be pointing them.
Yes.
The baseball club want them pointed different.
At the field.
When can they do this? Now that it's
Yeah.
approved, what's the timeline?
Probably within a week and a half, something like that. They got down pretty quick though. We're just checking the bulbs, so I'm assuming they can get down there.
Okay. Yes?
Natalie, I don't know, did you discuss anything about our meeting with DNR?
Yeah, we talked about it on Saturday when we met for the budgets. We
Okay.
kind of gave them just a heads
Once
up
over.
on like what they said. As far as like turning off the pump and stuff like that and possibly needing to find like an alternative water
yeah.
source. So,
I just was wondering if I needed to say anything or you talked about it.
no, did you have any thoughts outside of?
Well, it's just kind of a catch-22. You can either have good fishing or a full lake, and I know how the, citizens do not like a low pond, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a hard.
Do we
I
haven't-
did,
oh, sorry.
there, like I was telling them, there is a well that was dug, but it just doesn't pump enough water to keep the lake full.
Could we do another well?
Well, that's gonna be my question. Could we go
You
deeper?
probably could, but I don't know if there's any guarantee that it's gonna pump any more water. It's all the same aquifer that's coming out of, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
what they explained to was the watershed for our
Watershed,
pond is pretty much on the terrible
Yeah.
side.
There,
You only have 20 to
there's supposed to
30.
be a certain amount of acres
20 to 30.
per acre in your pond.
Yeah.
And we're
You're supposed to be 20
Like
to
at a
30.
third,
We're
I
at-
think
we're
it
at-
was.
we're at 4.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think the lake was originally created in a, like, per spec, right? Because he talked about when lakes are created now, like,
He kept saying it was a burrow pit, but I don't believe that. I think it was made for the lake and the
Yeah.
park, so.
yeah.
Just without mentioning it or something.
And the state had said that if we agreed to not pump, they would
They would shock the
restock
lake,
it,
kill
yeah.
all the fish, and then restock it. But if we can't put any more water in it, and you just gotta let nature take its course, and if it fills up, it fills up. If not, then.
The
And I
fish are
will
gonna
tell
die.
you, the small lake that we filled up, that thing went completely dry. I never had to pump any water out of that before we
Yeah.
filled it back in, so it does go down quickly.
Yeah, that's why the immediate next step was identify how we could have a way to replace the water.
Correct.
So that's our,
Well, and the one DNR, said he doesn't suggest that. The other one seemed like he thought it was a good idea, so it was kind of a.
I don't know, is there any way to improve the watershed?
We
I
just,
didn't understand how he was calculating it.
basically,
Yeah.
with the watershed is you're just trying to funnel as much water that runs off the hills as possible into that lake.
Yeah, a bunch of hills right there, so.
With our parking lot being the way it is, all that water is diverted and then goes down the side of, Locust. straight to the creek. You don't really want that water from the parking lot going into the lake because there's oil, there's all kinds of stuff from cars that pollute the lake, so it's kind of.
But then if it goes into the creek and we're pumping from the creek to the lake, it's kind of the same, I mean.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Right? If they were to do the kill and the
Yep.
cleaning up of, is there anything when the lake, assuming that they drain the lake, or maybe that's a wrong assumption, but what, if there was no water in the lake, is there anything that can be done while it's dry to, and forgive me, this is not my area of knowing anything at all, anything we can do to improve?
Yeah, you can dig it out. I mean, you could completely go in and dig it out, but it takes years and years of it being dry before you can get on there because it just gets a crust on it. And then the bottom, like the mud underneath, stays wet for a long, long time. So it would take years for it to completely dry out before you can start taking out. Then you gotta find something to do with that mud and trucking and all
They
that.
even mentioned in the meeting that dredging
The dredging, yeah, dredging is
is very
basically,
expensive and it might not even improve
And it could make it
the
worse.
problem.
well, and sometimes when you dig out a lake, it opens up new holes, so it will drain faster.
Really just the big problem that they said for us was we hit the acres of
The watershed.
the watershed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was the big thing is it doesn't self-replenish, at a, you know.
He did recommend some grants. There is some
Yeah,
funding
there
that's
was,
out there.
yep.
The grant applications are due by March 6th. And I have never written a grant before. I was out on their site looking at it. And it's like a little intense, just like the one that they talked about for the conservation or whatever.
One of them was the REAP grant.
Yeah, one of them is the
I think
REAP
we're
grant.
blacklisted.
You blacklisted it.
I think we're blacklisted.
They won't give any right now until we figure out this next one.
Is there anything to put on the bottom of the lake to slow, like rocks or lining or something that would slow the seepage?
Yeah, but it's really expensive. They also have, it's basically like ground up, kind of like ag lime that you can put on the bottom and it kind of seals everything, but that's also very expensive.
Yeah.
And doesn't do very good with vegetation.
Mm.
If you want a nice crystal clear lake,
That's not it.
but if you need vegetation and that kind of stuff on the bottom, it kind of seals it all off.
Yeah.
So.
Other than that, I don't have anything.
Well, I was gonna ask about the fountain. I've had a lot of people ask why we don't, when the weather gets nice, you start doing the fountain. I know you have a certain time, but is there something to reconsider where that's going more often and?
We can put it on as much as possible. You gotta take into consideration if it's like super hot, that takes water out of the lake, that's evaporating the water
Mhm.
much quicker. And with what we have it on now, it's $300 a month just in energy.
So
That's
what is
pump,
the now?
fountain?
Yeah.
The fountain.
The fountain. So what's the number, what's the plan? What do you do today? What are your hours of operation?
In the morning, I do it when people are walking. I usually turn it on from 6 to 9,
6 to 9,
and then from 6 to 9 at night.
In the winter.
7 days a
Oh,
week?
not in the winter.
No, this is during when,
During summertime.
so is this
Yeah.
7 days a week then?
7 days a week, yeah.
So then if we had a special event or
You have to
something, then
physically go in and
we
turn
could
it
tell
on.
you and you could
Yeah.
let it go for more.
Yeah.
But if we're wanting to conserve water and not pump from the
Yeah,
creek,
see, this is the other thing.
we
This is
may
another
want
catch.
to.
Yeah, if you wanted to have nice fish or whatever, then you probably can't, you can't pump and then you probably can't use the fountain because that's gonna increase.
Evaporate the water faster, yeah.
And the $300 a month, is this just the 2 3-hour
Yes,
time periods?
yep.
Okay.
When, I think when Randy first got here, we did an evaluation to see how much it was and that's what it was, but that was years ago. It might be more expensive. I don't know if energies went up. I'm sure it has. So it's probably costing us a little bit more than that now.
Ron, this might be a ridiculous question, but do you know if there are like solar powered pumps out there that could be worth an investment?
I have never heard of one.
I don't know.
Like
That's,
bird bath
it takes a
ones.
lot of, that's too,
Or maybe it's too powerful.
it's,
Maybe
yeah, it's
too-
220.
Okay.
I know that. It takes a lot of power.
New
I mean,
truck?
you
One
could get
song.
a smaller fountain, I guess, and
Just trying to think if there's,
have one little thing square.
yeah,
Want to tell them about your new truck?
What's that?
Tell them what you got for your new truck.
Oh, I got a 2017 Ford F-550 with a dump box. beautiful truck. It's only got 35,000 miles on it. Interior's like brand new. It had a box put on it that was used already, but the truck looks brand new itself. So, I don't know if you've seen me driving around town.
No, I haven't.
But, and it's mouse free.
And it's awesome.
So what are you doing to make sure that stays that way? You're not parking in this
I
area?
actually just put some packets of, it's this smell stuff that it's a deterrent.
That cab fresh stuff.
What's that?
That cab fresh.
It's called Uncle
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Peppermint oil spray.
That's exactly what it is. It smells like
Yep.
a Christmas tree when you get in. So,
I lived in New York
And
City
you
for a
have to
long
get one more
time. That
thing
was my
for,
best friend.
for the snow removal, have you gotten that yet?
I got a bid for the plow and it was $10,113, I think it was.
Was that originally 5,000?
It was
No.
actually,
11,000 with.
it was 11,500, but I found somebody that had one cheaper.
Okay. So you've
It's in
actually
council.
ordered it then, or
What's that?
you are just getting bids on that, or you actually ordered it?
And I have not, I just gotta take time to take it up there and have them put it on.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, very
We're
good.
hoping for no more snow, so.
I'm not.
Yeah, March,
Well, you got a little time.
March will.
You'll have
Yeah,
it.
Christine, I think. it
Thank you.
But the mountain.
Thanks, Ron.
Bird
Okay,
brought it
I
up to us.
didn't make that number, all right?
No,
Yeah,
there was something.
Oh, man, thank you, Ron.
What's that?
Oh, Jamie, your vacation just got canceled.
Okay, Jamie,
Recall.
you're up.
Okay, so I did have 3 bids on dump trucks. Let's start with this MGX.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the company that I went to for outfitting the cabin chassis.
Oh, yeah, for your other
Go to
truck?
International or whoever, you get the cabin chassis, then you gotta have somebody else put the box on the pile, the sanders, all hydraulics. So their bid was at $117,850.
That's a good bid.
What do we have in?
That's just the box.
For the
That's just
snowplow?
the work, that's not the
Yeah.
chassis.
Yeah, the chassis.
Stuff on it.
Oh, that's just the stuff on it?
That's the-
Jamie.
the
I was wondering why this is so.
What?
You have expensive toys, Jamie.
So,
Move on. Moving on.
Okay, Sean.
we'll start with the Freightliner cabin chassis bid. So it's Freightliner down on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So their bid on the cabin chassis was $104,057. For a
Is that the
total of,
Is that the truck? That's the truck.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. We're following
So
you.
the total,
Oh, so these together.
Mhm.
truck complete,
Yeah.
I'm on.
$221,907.
That's still really good though.
So then I also went to International. It's a good international, left-hand corner. Their bid for the truck was $105,850.
Yep.
Hold on a minute.
Well, including freight, 109.9.
Yeah, it was 109.9. I wrote that down wrong.
That's all right.
So then,
And these are the same thing, so at the end of the day, you have the same bells and whistles and everything that you, okay.
yes, on these two. So then you take that 109.9, add the 117,850 to that, comes out to 227,750.
750, so just a little more, okay?
These first 2 are 6 months out.
These first two are 6 to a year out
Oh, geez.
before we take delivery.
And they're both 2027s?
Sixes.
We're in 26. Why don't they have them done now? 26.
Well, it is 27. International does say 27.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it sure does.
Oh, eagle eye down there.
Yep. Okay.
And Peterbilt, it's sitting on the lot, done, complete.
Oh.
Pick it up tomorrow. They come back with $237,865. I did send a couple guys up to look at this one. They drove it. They really liked it. It does have add-ons that these other two do not have. Has aluminum wheels, heated seats, the rear view camera. It's got the hitch on the back with the airlines for a trailer, if we ever got a trailer.
They're gonna be fighting over the heated seats.
Yeah,
The box is a foot longer.
Is it a 26 or? What does it
It's
say?
like it says 2024 revision.
Oh.
I don't know, or maybe that's not the truck, maybe that's the.
This one would be a 26,
It is a 26.
yes. Peterbilt also has a heavier front axle under it. It's actually a 14,600 pound front axle, where the International was 14,000 pound and the Freightliner is only a 12,000 pound.
What is the benefit of that, Jamie? Is that,
It's a little easier on the front end when you got that plow hanging out there. If you have a heavier front end, it doesn't squat it on the front as much.
got it. That seems like of all the additions, that's the one that you would make the biggest difference.
That's the one that I would like to make the motion on to approve, would be Peterbilt, just because the access to it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I did go down after work this afternoon, went in and looked at the truck, and it's a nice truck.
The
It's-
Peterbilt.
Yes,
Oh,
it's,
nice.
it does have even our trucks in Council Bluffs, the setup on it is really nice. And like Jamie said, the heated seats and a couple other things on it. For the other trucks being 6 months to a year out,
Yeah,
and after hearing the shape that their fleet is in,
mhm.
I think it'd probably be a good idea if we could pick this up tomorrow and get this down here to get these guys in it, get them, God, I can't even think of,
Train.
huh?
Train.
Yeah, get them trained, comfortable, used to the truck. I think it'd be a good idea. You know, it's here, it's now.
Normally, once we put a guy in that truck is his to take care of.
Hmm.
That way I know
Yeah, yeah,
if something gets screwed up, I know who to go to, and
yeah.
How fast will it be, like, ready to use? Like, do you have to get it, like, decals put on it and all that kind of stuff to be able to use
we
it?
just
No?
Stick a door or a sticker on the door
Probably good.
and ready to go.
Ready for Super Bowl on Friday.
No, what? It's too warm.
I'm ready.
Is
Oh
that
my
okay?
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm just dreaming.
Awesome.
So is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make the motion for the Peterbilt, Council Bluffs. What was the total amount? 237,865?
Is there a second?
McEwen?
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Duran.
yes.
Got yourself a truck.
Thank you for getting those
Yeah.
bids, Jamie.
Jamie, does this retire another one or add to the
That's good.
until it dies.
No,
The 2004, right?
it was like a 19,
I think it's
19,
1991.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay. I forgot.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Okay, anything else, Jamie?
That's all I have.
That's it? Well, then Eric, it's your turn.
Older than all our kids. I know, I was in like elementary school, middle school.
So we had 213 calls for service since last meeting. I was notified last week that sometime the earlier part of last week, the little library at the Highly Park was vandalized.
Aw.
Oh, I forgot to ask him about that. He was gonna go out and fix it.
Well, I know Mr. Henderson said he had the door removed, so I'm not sure if they're having it repaired or who's actually repairing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
there's glass all over.
Yeah. Is that lit over there?
kind of. I mean, it could always be lit better.
It's not the first time it's happened.
Do we have
No.
trail cams around? No?
Working on that. Currently, there are no trail cameras up there, but. And then the other thing I have is I have a quote for the PPV truck from Carl Automotive and a quote with the prepaid parts with Jones Automotive in order to get that started. Carl Chevrolet advised to be anywhere from a 3 to 4 month wait period. Jones Automotive advised it'd be about a 16-week or 4-month wait period from the time they're authorized to order the parts, which is why they're requiring or asking for half of the parts paid up front.
I thought you were replacing your vehicle
I am,
with a truck.
yes.
Okay, just making sure that I didn't misunderstand you.
Because the next vehicle in line in the replacement cycle would be the truck that's down there. And we would replace it with an SUV.
Then you'll be, okay. Okay.
And this would come in about $3,000 under what I was told was approved. I guess I don't know if it's approved yet.
I wish some of these would come in over so we don't have to try to spend more.
What's that?
So I wish some of these would come in over.
No, there's
so they
still
have
more
to fit
needs. We'll find more.
You have extra.
We can spend it.
Yeah. See what the tally is. Okay, so you're looking at 54, 544,
It's 50,422 for the truck from
Oh,
Carl
sorry.
Chevrolet.
So we probably need 2 motions then? One for that and one for Jones?
It's up to you
So
guys.
it's up to
I
council
mean,
if you want to do it that way?
You can want them in one or in the second and the other, or you can do them one on one. I did not get a second upfit quote, and the reason why is because Jones Auto is the only one in our area that's doing quality upfitting, in my opinion. The last one we tried was Carl Chevrolet because they have their own upfitting. The dilemma we run into whenever there's an issue, then we have to run the truck 2.5 hours away to have the repairs. Where Jones they have a mobile guy that comes down.
Mm-hmm.
Carl was saying that the first time we tried him, but then that quickly fell apart. Like the first time we called him, it was, well, can you meet us in Atlanta? Not quite the same service, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Understood.
What'd you say the truck price was?
50,422.
80.
I don't need the little. And the money up front?
Was 6,000, and I apologize, I didn't bring that with me. 6,000
I
and
can find
some
it.
change.
Is that the Jones, the 6,993.22 that you're looking at?
Yeah.
That would be, and that's for half the cost of the parts.
50%, yeah, prepayment.
No, that doesn't count the labor, which the total, Jones' total was just under 19,000, 18,000, some change.
Do you want the motion just for the prepay or for the whole amount for Jonesville?
I,
Probably need it for the whole amount, don't you?
Yeah, I would think
So
so.
so you're
the
not
whole amount would be
twice,
probably ideal.
yeah,
It'd be not to exceed 19,000.
there you go. Okay, so
I make a motion, to approve for Jones Auto not to exceed 19,000.
We're gonna do one
you wanna do
motion for
one
both.
motion?
Oh, we can do one?
And for the car,
Okay.
50,000?
And, to Carl Automotive, for the 50,000 for 2280.
Okay,
Second.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Matt's not here.
He's at a meeting, he's gonna try to get back, so we can come back to him if he gets there. He's in Red Oak for that, Tend to have him on the night of our meetings at 6:00. Last time we got back in time, but
No worries.
Yep.
It's just unusual that he's not here.
he was. Let's see if he sent me a message. He did not. Last time it was, I'm outside. Oh, we're in closed session. Can I get in? Anything else, Eric?
No,
No? Okay. So we'll skip Mr. Gray and let Mr. Koch go on his session, and we'll come back if he makes it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You've got a nice fancy, book in front of you from,
Can I?
Schroer and Associates, our auditor. So that's a full audit report for you to look at when you have time. But just some of the highlights, our total receipts for FY '25 were $19,293,847, 36.1% increase from FY '24. The disbursements for the year were $19,047,506, a 30% increase from the prior year, and the significant increase in receipts and disbursements was all due to CDBG grant proceeds for the Arbor Hills project, pass-through funds. They did have one finding that has been in multiple previous audits also, just related to segregation of duties for bank reconciliations, because I do the bank reconciliations and the financial reports. It's a common finding for cities where you have 3 city hall staff. That was the finding, and then if you read through the whole report, they do give another, the only other negative opinion in there is that we don't, that GMU reports under a different accounting standards, and that they can't include GMU's information in our financial statements. And so I think that's also been in there for years also. Other than that, they had an unmodified opinion on our financial statements with no major findings. So, if you have any questions, you can let me know, or you could reach out to them too if you want to talk to them.
Keep it here.
So that's the audit report. And then I would ask for a resolution 3743, set a public hearing for our FY '27 property tax hearing. To approve that. The hearing will be on March 24th at 6 PM before our council meeting.
So we'll ask him for a motion then,
So moved, Reiner.
a second.
Kate's.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Kate's,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes.
Lyons.
Yes.
Next, we have an update on the county 911 communications contract. So we kind of mentioned it at the budget workshop. But where we settled with the county on a number was, instead of increasing the 3% from the $186,000 that we currently pay them, bringing the number down to $170,000 and holding it flat for 5 years. And then if that sounds good to you, we'll let them know, and then we would meet with them and go over some of the contract language. There's some outdated stuff in the contract that Eric and Travis, some of the people that it impacts, we're gonna look at and work on cleaning up just minor contract language. It's my understanding is
That's our understanding.
cleaning up just some minor contract language and no major changes to any services or anything, just cleaning up minor contract language. And we would eventually have that contract for you to see and approve, so no motion or anything, I just wanted to give you an update and see if that 170 flat for 5 years was acceptable.
And we were paying what?
186, and it was going up 3% every year.
The in-car camera systems, we have 2 new ones that are functioning properly. The rest of them, most of them are still operating okay. However, we do have a few that are starting to malfunction, where, and when I say starting to, they'll give a code where date and time is lost. According to Patrick Benz, he's contacted WatchGuard or Motorola, and their response is that the hard drives are starting to go faulty in those units and that they are no longer supported. So that would be a forced upgrade. Those units are, if I remember correctly, around between 8 and 10 grand a piece. So we would have some expense to look at with replacing those if we don't get the same type of agreement that we currently have. The in-car radios and the handhelds or the portables, those would definitely be replaced on as needed basis. I mean, when one goes out, you'd end up replacing that. I wouldn't recommend replacing those before that happened, which I'm pretty sure the county's on that same philosophy. So I'm not quite sure when they would move to replace those, but our mobile data terminals, our in-car computers, we just started a new lease program with those, or the county did. So I believe they advised those were on a 5-year lease for approximately $12,000, so a little over $5,000 a piece.
So have you looked at the agreement? Nothing's changed? Like they haven't removed anything out of the other agreement?
I don't think so.
Not yet. Everything's the same.
So far, I went through the agreement. I just submitted it to you, so I got you've got time to look at it. With some red line stuff that is no longer relevant.
It's not gonna impact you in a negative way?
If I understand it, the amount would be for the same services we get right now.
Okay.
What we discussed in the meetings is what I took away from the meetings.
There's some language in the current agreement about using the conference room downstairs as a backup emergency operations center and a backup dispatch center, in the closet downstairs, basically what it
In
is.
this building?
In
Like
this
your conference
building.
room?
However, that's no longer needed. Most of the radio stuff is all done. They have suitcase radios, basically, they could operate out of anywhere. And with their facilities where they're currently at, that wouldn't be needed, so I recommended striking that out of there.
We're meeting within the 26th of February, 10 a.m. at the courthouse basement, if any of you are available and would like to join.
If 2 of you are available.
2 of you are available, yes.
2 questions. One is there anything that you wish they did that is not in the agreement? I just feel like if we're paying as much as we are, we should be getting as much as we can out of it. So is there anything they could provide that they don't? That we could.
They're really good with the police department. I mean, with this agreement, I don't have any complaints with the county.
And then the second question is, if you were to take it over, do you have, or does the police department have the capacity to track all of this stuff and monitor, and like somebody has to be the central person that's keeping track of.
So prior to getting this agreement, in fact, that's what we did. We had our in-car camera systems on a rotating basis. As we replaced the car, we replaced the camera.
Mhm.
Now, at that time, we could use the GTSB funds. We could apply through for the grant and they would pay for the camera systems. I'm told that they no longer will do that. They'll still do radar units and stuff like that, but not camera systems. So that would be different if we do have to take that over. Like I said, it'd definitely be a budget issue that we would have to figure out. I don't see a lot of sense in replacing units unless you absolutely have to until you replace the car, which is why now going on at that time, we were replacing a car about once every 4 to 5 years, but we didn't have assigned cars. We didn't have a full fleet. This would be a different type of deal where we would end up having to, because each car, like the car, my vehicle currently is 10 years old. Every one I had set up on was going to be on a 10-year rolling basis. So we'd replace a car a year, but each car would fall off at 10 years. Now, the only, I guess, stumble to that was there's been a couple of years where instead of purchasing one car, it was a Geo Bond and we did 2. We had one vehicle that we got that ended up being a lemon and we ended up getting a GM to actually replace. So we have a few cars that are closer in the same age. Now we're still gonna have to stagger those out and that'll depend on mileage and dependability and I guess overall what they're costing us to keep. So those would be some of the things, but to answer your question, yes, I'm definitely capable of keeping track as to what needs replaced when.
But capacity wise,
Yes.
I know you have the skills to do it, but I'm
Yes.
just thinking like how much time that frees up that you don't have to do it. Right, because time is money kind of thing.
Which is why when we did this agreement, it was include absolutely everything we
Yeah.
could possibly include in the agreement because it benefited us, which was definitely benefiting them too for the dollar amount they were getting. I know Patrick provided us a dollar figure for IT. I can't explain how dependable and reliable he is as far as being, if we have an issue, we call, he shows up. If he can't walk you through it on the phone, he's there to fix it. It's never a waiting game with him as to when he's gonna show up or anything like that.
Right, just wanted to give you an update to see if there's any objections to that proposal.
I just still think that they could give us an accounting. I don't know, that's the part that bothers me, I guess, is like, we only really know what 80-some thousand of it is. And that's what I was getting at with that question, was like, if we know that 25% of your time, for example, would be taken up doing all of this stuff that they're doing, we can put a number to that, right? So we could say whatever 25% of your salary is plus the 80-something, and we're getting close to 170, yeah, it's worth it, right? But I feel right now like there's $90,000 of.
So it's their budget.
That's
We've
what
had
they,
that discussion. And
Well, and to answer part of your question.
but they just
I'm
say
not
budget,
sure
they
how
don't
to
show anything, right? Like,
Exactly.
that's the,
get a
even loosely.
complete accurate number on it is that the administrative calls and that they answer, I don't have a good gauge on how many hours they actually put in.
Because it's 24/7, right?
Correct.
right. And I'm not suggesting that they don't spend that much, I'm just saying that normally in business, you have to back up whatever
Yeah.
your number is and account for how you've spent that, right? And so I don't think we'd be out of our bounds to just ask for that.
Yeah.
Even if they're loose buckets of dollars, right? Of like, about 25,000 goes to this, about whatever for that. Like, I don't think that's unreasonable. Especially since none of us have a basis for how we even know where that number came
What you
from.
asked Travis for, Mitch, and haven't gotten it, is budget showing where all that money was going?
I asked a few times to different items. We provided a drawing on a whiteboard. I have a picture of it.
Did it add up to 170,000?
Or roughly, even if it's a percentage of whatever costs are being spent somewhere else. It just feels like at this point in time, like we don't know where that number came from historically, but we're renegotiating. We should be able to figure out as of today why we are okay with 170,000 and how we got to it. That's, for me, that's kind of what it boils down to. I'm okay with the 170. I just want to know what we're paying for.
Hard part is, like Eric said, is what's the administrative calls and what's emergency calls, and I think there'd probably be disagreement between us and them on what's emergency and what's administrative.
So I know Travis had said that we create about a third of the calls between their total calls with sheriff's office and us.
Yeah, that included our emergency.
That
calls.
included the emergency calls, so.
The ones
again,
they're
we're back
required to manage, right?
Right.
And I'm not suggesting that we bring out some like forensic accountant, right? But I just feel like bucket wise, like we should know, we should know what it is we're loosely paying for, right? Because how would we know in the future then if we're valuing like, oh no, Eric could do this for 50% of that cost, right? Like we have no idea what, we just don't know. Or maybe we're getting a great deal.
How long has this agreement been in place?
It's the beginning of time.
Anybody know?
Yeah,
I believe it was 2012, the initial agreement was made.
Yeah, 2012, 2011.
So here's a real taxing question for you. Approximately how much did we save by going this way back then? Would you
Well-
say estimate?
So 2000, I'm straining my brain, I wanna say
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah.
The mayor at that time and Chief O'Connor and Matt Woods, I know, had to file some sort of stay order with the courts because that's when this issue initially blew up. I'm sure we can look it up in the OT. So the issue started then, and then in 2012 is when we actually negotiated it. That's when we got all this other added things into the agreement without question as far as IT services, and it just continued to build from there.
Well, it seems like it's a good, use of one contract for two organizations using more or less similar resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
That is correct, but I still don't have an answer on.
Okay.
And I don't want anyone to think that that I don't think it's a good service. I do. I just feel like we should know what it is we're getting. The money attached, we know what we're getting, but like dollar amounts that are attached to that. Because how can we look at the itemized list of things they're providing and say, hey, that's a ridiculous amount of money for you. We could do that in-house, right? And I don't know, I've looked at contracts in my job where they'll charge, well, I think it was even when we were going through with Mitch, when we were doing the interviewing, and some of the itemized things, we're like, there's no way it would cost that much. We could do that ourselves, right? So like being able to maybe take $10,000 off a contract for Eric to spend 20 minutes of his time doing something. Like there's no way for us to make that assessment if we have no idea what the things are. That's kind of my point. It's not that I'm saying I don't think we should do it. I just think that we should know. Feels more financially responsible to just know what it is we're paying.
And not to mention that it's the highest amount paid in any of the counties that you listed. The highest that's on here with a county with a population of double our size is 150,000. That's Carroll County.
We get, the IT services that those people don't get, and the radios purchased.
Mhm.
So that part factors should be factored in, but yeah.
I mean,
Other
I
than that,
agree.
though, of those other counties, they're not paying for the emergency call taking portion of at all. Because that's a county service and Glenwood residents are already taxed for it in their county property taxes, and they pay the 911 surcharge too in their phones.
Stepping off my soapbox. Anything else?
And as far as funding, like the thing that we're gonna have on the ballot about declaring the emergency the emergency services or whatever, is that gonna change anything with available funding for,
That would go towards Matt's ambulance, EMS service.
so just that part of the budget will, like, we may have other additional funding available for Matt's part of the budget, right?
Mhm.
I just wanna make sure it didn't include any of the other, like the 911 center or anything like that.
No.
Okay,
Might be able to go through just the equipment for the 911,
operator, like.
for the ambulance 911 stuff, probably.
Do you have anything else? I'll go back to Matt then for his comments. Matt Gray. He was not here when it was his turn to talk.
You ready? Yeah, since council meeting, last council meeting, we had 46 calls for service. I did get the final numbers from the state finally, and I'll print off each of you a copy of it. But I'm gonna kind of explain where it's highlighted in yellow. I did not do that. That's what the state did because these departments did not report like they were supposed to. So those are how many
You're on the
departments in the
ambulance.
state.
Whoa.
For each page. And each page has
Oh, Matt's like
numerous
he's not.
highlights where they did not report
Oh, my.
per the state guidelines what they're asking them to do for 2025. Out of 654 departments, we are in the top 40 for call volume. So we do run quite a few calls throughout the state. Throughout the, from other departments within the area. I mean, you've got some of them that are running, like, of course, Des Moines, you're looking at 30-some thousand calls a year. Council Bluffs, I think they're up around 11,000 now. And we ended up last year at 1,480. We were down a little bit, and part of that's due to a little bit of fire prevention and education where we see a little bit of less of grass fires and stuff going on because we have the burn bans in place, so we didn't get called out quite as much. Also with some of the other stuff that we've done with just prevention and education, since we have the people that are on staff now, they're actually doing some classes and it's kind of showed a little bit or, fire safety and stuff like that. EMS calls were up a little bit for the total, but I got a year-end report that I'll be printing off and I'll put one and get to each one of you unless you want me to email it to you. And then I'll email you a copy of this. And then the new reporting software, or new reporting system that we're using to the state, it's still having its issues. So there's been a lot going on with that for the last month and a half with how they want us to report and then what they're kicking back out of reports if something isn't right. So it's been kind of interesting to see how they've been adjusting that. Also, I have applied for 3 grants. The Mills County Spring Grant, the Jack Willis Safety Fund, and also the Shellberg Grant, which hopefully we'll know those within the next 3 to 4 months, what we get out of those. And there's a couple more that I'm working on right now. And the code enforcement software has been added to the website. I'll be getting with Eric and the deputy clerk on how to kind of go through that and add things to it. And then we'll be ready to have it operational. So it's been busy over the last couple of months with all the changing through state code and then some of the stuff that they're doing with just EMS. EMS Essential, as you know, did make it on it's going to make it on the ballot. We have a meeting coming up Thursday. That's where we'll start kind of deciding how that money is going to be split up and eventually make that formal recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. I'm going with it should be basically based on population call volume. I think that's a fair way to do it. That's just me though, I'm only one part of that committee. Every agency has its own vote, only one vote. Doesn't matter how many members are on the board. So that is one thing. I was over in Red Oak tonight. They were going through a meeting again with their outside of the city limit, different communities that they deal with, different cities like Liska, Emerson, and some of them, on their response times for basically EMS, and having them go through, and they're working on trying to come up with a way with additional funding. Since Red Oak is carrying the staffing load over there, and it's been kind of interesting, some of the thought processes that get thrown out there. I think it's real hard for some other cities to understand that Red Oak is paying the bill for those guys to be there on call, and they're leaving the city of Red Oak. And I think there's some confusion on where that lies. They did come up with a few numbers, but they're gonna be changing that, and as soon as I know more on that, I'll send that out as well. But they did come up with some rough numbers tonight, but she's gonna update because a couple of the cities didn't like how they were doing. They wanted more of a discount, I think. And I think it's gonna be a fight in those areas trying to get some money out of some of those different areas.
Do they get money from the townships over there? Do they?
They have a rural fire board, so
Okay,
I don't think it's
not the same as the.
not the same as they do here, from my understanding, because they have a rural fire board. And they give them almost $100,000 from basically like the townships, what our townships here give. Their rural fire board is giving them right at about $100,000 for fire and emergency services. And then they're trying to get the additional that they're going into these other cities like Liska, Stanton, to cough up some money for them responding in their areas to cover their calls. So it's been pretty interesting. Some of the discussions got a little heated, but they will be scheduling now with each town, I believe, is what they agreed to tonight. And it's going to be interesting. Having the same issues that we are.
Yeah.
From what we're doing. I just think a lot of people understand the versus of having to pay staffing and then also keep everything equipped. And I think that's where the hard line needs to be understood a little bit better. So
Thank you.
that's what went on. And then the mayor and I will be touring Gretna's fire station Thursday morning. So we'll bring back some pictures and some information on it. And we'll be bringing to the council probably next meeting on the planning and zoning side for a conditional use permit to be waived for a church. And I'll have more information on that hopefully by tomorrow, for a sign that they want to do that they cannot do because it's not permitted in the zone that they live in. So, they were asking if the fees could be waived, but I will have more information on that tomorrow as soon as I get the permit, hopefully. So, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh,
Okay,
our flagpole is fixed.
what's that?
The black hole's fixed.
Oh, yay. Number 7, community development block grant. We have a couple of motions on there. I'll take those.
Yep, looking for a motion to approve GAX 7 for the 19 DRH 003 104.5 Birch Street project.
So moved, Duran?
Is there a second?
Line,
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
McEwen,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Duran,
Yes.
Lyons.
yes.
Okay.
Continuing with the community development block grant disaster recovery projects, looking for motion to approve pay app 002H for Mark Hughes Construction for 104.5 Birch Street. A fourplex project in the amount of $85,110.64.
Motion,
Line,
second.
Right here.
Any discussion? It's a rather thick packet. Roll call, please.
Lyons,
yes.
Duran,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
McEwen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to
Number eight.
the other community development block grant, the downtown revitalization projects. Motion to approve pay app 9R for Cornerstone Commercial Contractors in the amount of $16,382.09.
Motion,
Duran?
second.
Kate's,
Any discussion? Roll call?
McEwen,
Yes.
Duran,
Yes.
Reiner,
Yes.
Lines,
Yes.
Kate.
yes.
And then, motion to approve invoice 2310-R for Chris Architecture in the amount of $8,093.52.
Motion,
Lines?
and a second.
Kate's,
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Reiner,
Yes.
McEwen,
Yes.
Duran,
Yes.
Kate,
yes.
Lines.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else, Mitch?
No.
Okay. Mayor report, tomorrow Jamie and I go to RPAT meeting. Still going, Jamie? Meet you here. Isn't there a meeting tomorrow? Sure. You'll pick me up and take me there. Okay, and then it's back in Council Bluffs, which is good. And as Matt mentioned, he and I are gonna tour the Gretna Fire Station. I did complete a grant also for the Spring Southwest Iowa Community Foundation for the splash pad. So, maybe, did you do one for the PD?
I think Dan did, yes.
Dan did? Okay. So we'll have a few out there. We'll see if any of us get anything, so. And also the police department, Dan has, asked for a letter of support, which I wrote for him for alarms that, I can't remember what it's called, the interactive thing,
Virtual reality.
virtual reality training kind of thing. I can't remember the name. Hive Alarm or something like that.
I'd have to look again.
Anyway, when does he hear from that one? Not sure, okay. And then I also did one for the Betterment Group. They're looking for wayfinding, and theirs is with T-Mobile. So I gave, just today did a letter of support for them, so. I think that's all I had. Council, do you have anything?
Just a question.
Yes.
So a couple people asked me who empties the trash on the square, like on the east side, some of those. So we have a contract. A lot of those are overflowing a lot on the weekends, we noticed. So.
Is it the waste management?
Waste management, yeah.
Once a week?
I don't know what their
Yeah,
schedule.
No,
It's once a week, I think. You called them. Because I noticed it was overflowing on a Thursday, and then I asked Teresa to call them, and what did she say? That she missed it that day?
Well, they said they'd already been there, but we're like, no,
They said they'd
it
been
was
there. I
full.
said, no, you
You
said,
need to come
no,
back."
we were just looking at it.
And then they said they could come back the next day.
So, and we can just start.
Do we know what day they come for it? And maybe they need to be
I
there
guess
closer to the
Thursday.
weekend or right after the weekend to clean it up. I don't know what their pickup date is.
And does that increase in the summer when there's more foot traffic and people are out? Presumably more garbage?
I think it's just the one time we.
I can go and get the schedule.
And it's on the corners usually where there's
That's where,
apartments are
that's
and
where the
stuff.
people that told me about it.
Yeah, and I've
noticed.
heard people that live in those upper story, they want to bring their trash down and stuff in there too. I don't know if that's happening or not,
Yeah.
but that could be part of, it is.
it is.
Yeah, so I think that's why it's filling up so fast, that they're not doing their own,
Ticket them,
well, we have to catch them.
stake out.
Okay, Eric, got it.
More trail cams.
So hopefully,
Yeah,
people
but-
will stop.
Could be some of the construction too. I wonder.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know what else to do, but tell them.
Yeah, just a curiosity question,
Well,
sorry.
and if they ask you again, they'll just have them call City Hall so they can call
Okay.
the company and have them come pick it up.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, anybody else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved, McEwen?
Second,
Lines?
all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, guys. We are out at 8:14.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got some of the local businesses.
Yeah.
Left foot is numb.
You heard that?
Left foot.
That's not-
You better be careful.